old age. Strokes, mini strokes, even strokes that you're not aware of can cause dementia. Now, it depends on what kind of dementia the person has. It depends on where the person was diagnosed to have dementia. So all those things are very important. Sometimes people may misdiagnose it. So it's very important. Maybe I will advise the person where if she's listening to go to UCH Ibadan, they will make a proper diagnosis of it there. If it is in Lagos, probably go to LUTH or to Lagos State University Teaching Hospital. So go to any of those federal hospitals. They will actually take their time and do quite a lot of investigation before they come to that conclusion. So it's not a diagnosis that you just make like that. It takes some time. But it's possible. At 46, it's possible that there are some type of dementia that are not age-related, are disease-related. So we need to find out what type of dementia the person has. Everything has dementia, from Alzheimer to all the types of dementia that are vascular, crown disease. There are quite a lot of dementia, and like more than 10 to 15 types.
Wow.
So
10 to 15 types.
We just call it dementia just because that's the final pathway in the disease process. Memory loss, attitude changes, and stuff like that.
All right. Thank you so much for throwing more light on that, and thank you for asking the question. I guess the person also is listening to us right now. So just like the doctor said, the best advice is to go to the teaching hospital to reconfirm again, to be sure that you are having it. All right, we'll be talking on something very, very important today. Why? Because research has shown that the way people really take care of their aged people, the way young people take care of their aged people, needs to be questioned. Everybody wants to go out there and also nobody wants to take care of the aged people. Nobody do want to sit down with them and say, okay, what do you want? What's wrong with you? How are you feeling? Nobody is ready to do that. And according to WHO, that's World Health Organization, they are saying that in 2050, 80% of older people will be living in low and middle income countries. And it's saying the pace of population aging is much faster than in the past, because they're saying in 2020 the number of people aged 60 years and older outnumbered children younger than 5 years. So that's to say that between 2015 and 2050, the proportion of the world's population over 60 years will nearly double from 12% to 22%. People worldwide are living longer. Today, most people are expected to live into their 60s and beyond, as each country is experiencing growth in both size and proportion of older people in their population. By 2030, 1 in 6 people in the world will be aged 60 years or over. As at the time, the share of the population aged 60 years and over will increase from 1 billion in 2020 to 1.4 billion. WHO is saying by 2050, the world's population of people aged 60 years and older will double 2.1 billion. That's to say, numbers of persons aged 80 years or older is expected to triple between 2020 and 2050 to reach 426 million. That's according to WHO research, their survey. All right, we'll be discussing on something very important this morning. Let me say the topic we treated last week, dementia, actually led to this topic. Yes, because there is need for us to educate ourselves more on this topic. All right, this afternoon, we'll be talking about geriatrics. Yes, geriatrics. It's according to the medical now, they believe it's focused on the care for elderly people. Doctor, I'm throwing it to you.
And you're correct. I mean, medicine started as medicine. After some time, we realized that there are some diseases in medicine that cannot be cured by drugs. So we need to cut something out of people to cure those diseases. So we started a path called surgery. And then so it became medicine and surgery. Then after some time, they realized that women have, especially pregnant women, have a special need, and they are not part of older people. So they started a branch of surgery that is called obstetrics. And then after some time, they realized that women actually should be separated. So gynecology became a study of women, pure. And then after that, medicine realized that, well, when those pregnant women give birth, the small children that they give birth to, they do not have, or they do not behave like adults. So pediatrics was separate. So we see medicine, surgery, pediatrics, OBGYN, then the mental health people came, psychiatry developed, and then we started. So as medicine advanced, then we realized that after some time, I mean, if pediatrics are not behaving like the normal adult that we know, what happens when people get to the extremes of age? At the other extreme, which is geriatrics. So that's a study of people that are at least above 60, 65 up by when 65 years and above. So then we have geriatrics in 3 sessions. We have the 65 to 75, then we have 75 to 85, and then we have the above 85. You know, so we have those geriatrics that are, we call them the one that are still frisky.
Okay.
So and then the one that are fragile, and then the one that are frail. These are the terms that we use to identify them. So above 95, they are frail. Lege something. They are very dependent. Between 85 to 95, they are fragile. They can still make it, but I mean, they should not be risking things. But 75, you see a lot of people from 65 to 75. If you go to developed countries, they're actually actively engaged, working. You know, bus drivers. They help kids cross the roads. They do some lot of community work. They do quite a lot of. So those people, they're still very useful. They still earn salaries. They still have economical impact in government and all that. So they are very, very on their feet. Now in Nigeria, which is where we're talking about, the life expectancy is not up to 60. I think we have 52. 55, or whatever they have improved it to. So if we have old people, they are very lucky. They have broken the glass ceiling. Old people need lots and lots and lots of special attention. So we're just going to run through quite a few of what they need. 1, the building that old people stay. The building. If you are rich when you are young, and a lot of people build houses, especially people that built houses in the last 20, 25 years. They build story houses. So, I mean, 1-story building, 2-story buildings, and then you see the owner of the house has a master bedroom up there. When they start getting old, they cannot climb staircase appropriately. So the first thing you do for old people is to put their master bedroom in the ground floor.
In the ground floor.
They must understand that their master bedroom must be on the ground floor. It's a different ball game if Nigeria becomes very good tomorrow and the government is able to sort it out and make light available so they can install lifts. In Europe and America, old people live on 40-something floors, 50-something floors. They don't climb. They get to they just get to the lifts and then they go all the way. In Nigeria, there is no lifts, there is no light. So government in caring for old people, this is one of the things that are very important. You know. Number 2, apart from the house where they stay.
Doctor, before you proceed, we need to go on a short commercial break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back from that commercial break. This is on 103.5 FM, and this is Radio Clinic. If you are just joining us, I have with me in the house Dr. Babasaya today, a consultant family medicine, and we've been discussing about geriatrics. Doctor, before we went on the commercial break, we were talking about cares.
Care. So apart from the house is different.
It's different.
Where they stay, the room that you're going to make for them, don't put tiles, don't put smooth tiles, because they do not have the capacity to grip the floor properly. So they tend to sleep a lot and they fall. So in their bathroom, don't put tiles. It's better for you to put concrete and then make it rough concrete in their bathrooms. Don't put bathtub for them. One of the things that happens to them usually is that they try to get into or out of the bathtub, and they have a problem, and then they fall down. And then please find a way that somebody checks on them, maybe every 2 hours, because sometimes they fall, they have issues, So building and care is a very huge. In fact, outside Nigeria, in Europe and America, they have special places for the elderly. So that's where they put them. So
that's what I'm about to ask. That's what I'm about to ask. That in outside Nigeria, especially US, I know of US, UK, Canada, that they have special place that they care for elderly people. Do we have that in Nigeria? Because there may be someone listening to us and the person feel, okay, I don't have enough time to care for my parents, but if I can get somewhere to put them.
Is developing gradually in Nigeria now. The UCH Geriatric Center is there, so people can go there. In fact, that's where most of the people, all patients in UCH now that are 60 and above have been transferred to the geriatric center for care, so that they are special part of the population. So that's where I will advise them to go. Private individuals are trying to develop their own geriatric homes for people, and I think some of them are doing very well. But if you get to UCH, you can ask, and they will recommend based on current profile that they have on their hand, and not marketing for anybody online. So, but they are present. Now, apart from that, if you are having your own grandpa with you, food is very important. They cannot survive 3 square meals.
They can't
survive it.
3 square meals?
Yeah, because you see, when you eat breakfast, you eat a portion that you consider enough, adequate, and then you move on till afternoon till you eat lunch, and then you do that at dinner. The old or the geriatric age cannot stomach food in that order, so they need to eat in bits. Pieces. So you must be ready to serve them in bits and pieces.
And that's in small portions.
Small portions, but more frequently. That's when they eat.
More frequently, up to 5 times, 6 times.
They can eat 6 times
daily.
Yes, frequently. But they cannot eat that chunk of food that you're giving them at lunch. So give them small food, and then make provision for them to take extra. At this age, they need lots of fruits, vegetables, vitamins, because their body can no longer do the processing. So that has to be a lot of factor. They have to factor a lot in their food. Water, they need lots of. They lose water a lot, especially in this weather that is changing now. We've been going through very hot weather now, and then we're getting towards Harmattan now. They need lots and lots of water. Kidneys of the elderly are very easily switch off if they don't have enough water, really. So fall, diet, sleep. They don't sleep like normal people. An elderly man can sleep for 4 hours and it's okay. The problem is when he stays in a house of younger people. Everybody goes to bed at 9 or 10. Then you sleep soundly till 5 or 6. He goes to bed at 10. He is perfectly okay at 2.
Wow.
And then he begins to
move around the
house. There is no light, so he cannot be actively engaged. You see, the problem with light in Nigeria, it goes beyond all the major things that we're talking about. There are these little minute things. If there is light, you put a TV in his room. He wakes up, puts on his TV, he watches whatever he wants to watch. If he feels sleepy again, he goes back to his bed, sleeps it off. He doesn't disturb anybody. Nobody disturbs him. But there is no light. He wakes up, takes his torchlight, starts to walk around the house. And then while walking around the house, everybody starts to wake up at 3 o'clock. So they bring Baba to the hospital. Baba is not sleeping well. But Baba is sleeping. And then number 2, mostly in Nigeria, geriatrics don't work.
Geriatrics don't work.
They don't work. So most of the time, what they do in the daytime is that they are seated often. Sometimes they lie down.
Doing
nothing. When they do that, they do what they call micro sleeping. In the day, they doze off. And that accumulates over the day. And you see, at night, what you do is that you pay debt of sleeping. So all the energy that you have expended in the day, all the work that you have done in the day, you then have to repair all those body parts. You need to put everything back in proper shape for tomorrow. But by the time you are going to bed as a geriatric, you have nothing to put back together. You are whole. So you go to bed, you can't sleep well. So it's important that elderly people must have exercises. I always encourage that. If you have elderly people amongst you that wants to be going out, please let them go out. In UK and I know of UK and I know of Europe, they give them a lot of rebates on travel. In fact, some of them travel for free wherever they want to get to, bus, train. They encourage the elderly people to move around a lot, so because they know. So, I mean, perhaps the train thingy from Ibadan to Lagos, maybe a coach will be dedicated to the elderly. So they maybe half price or something. Maybe the Omititun bus that is flying Ibadan now up and down, maybe a part of it will be dedicated to, okay, if you see somebody that is 65 years and above, don't collect money from them, let them have a seat, things like that to encourage them. The law of encouragement given to them outside. In the old customs of the Yorubas, the elders are given a lot of respect. And they are giving a lot of, they're not giving a lot of hard work, but they are giving a lot of brain work because they are community leaders. So a lot of things get put on your table, dispute to be settled, matters to be resolved, boundaries to be adjudicated on, So and then it is your responsibility as the elders of the community to actually supervise. Especially when you see the mothers, the grandmas, they supervise the grandchildren. So that this hustling that you are talking about, that the young people go out to hustle. Yes, from the time of our grandfathers, people have been going out to hustle. You go to the farm, you go to the market, you go to wherever you apply your trade, but your kids are with your grandparents. And so they supervise them. They ensure that they run around, they don't get injured, they can have enough of exercise, they can, they can care for them. But nowadays, religion had turned it upside down. A lot of people now are seeing their grandparents as witches and wizards, and aunts and their great aunts are now seen as standard witches and all that. So really, we've used gates to barricade ourselves into our own self world. Our children will suffer because there is no way you go to work and you'll be there for your child. It doesn't work that way. So we're seeing a lot of these things happening now. Primary schools now, they don't close at 2 o'clock again. Primary schools now have lessons, have after school activities till like 5 or 6. And what do they do there? What they're doing there is what you used to call jelly before, where the kid is just there, engaged, so that the mom and dad could hustle and then come back. And these are things that they've been built into our culture, and we have thrown them out because of some beliefs that some people had brought from some foreign land to us. And now our government cannot give us cannot provide the alternative arrangement that is going to help us to fill in the gap of what we've lost. So, housing, drinking water, food,
and
sleep, very important.
There's a question I want to ask concerning that sleep. Is there a specific bed? Take for example, is it soft bed? Is it orthopedic bed that is good or advisable young elderly people use to sleep?
Anybody that wants to sleep on a bed that is comfortable for you, period. If you're comfortable sleeping on plank and you put one mattress on it, sleep on it. People slept on mats now. Our own parents growing up slept on mats now. So where did this orthopedic bed is designed for a specific purpose? It's not for sleeping on by me and you. It serves a medical purpose. That's why it's orthopedic. Bed has a purpose in medicine. But because of class, it is a class thing. Anything that you want people to get in Nigeria now, make it a class issue. Everybody will go and buy it. It's not necessary. It's not even a required thing in the house. You need a bed. Get a bed. What do you need on the bed? The bed, it's not, when I was growing up, it used to be spring bed.
Spring.
That we had. Now, this plywood and all these designer beds that everybody is clamoring for now. It doesn't matter. Maybe in the next of tomorrow, something else will happen. Now we have air mattresses. You just plug it to a pump and then it fills it with air and then you sleep on it like that. The next morning, you deflate it, you fold it. You've seen it doesn't matter. The one that you're comfortable with your pocket and your back, sleep there. And just sleep there. It's okay for you. Don't do orthopedics. Don't go and get too unnecessary expenditure on it. Old people, they've been used to sleeping on hard floor before. They will sleep fine. Let them sleep.
So they can sleep anywhere they are comfortable with.
Let them look for a bed that is okay for them and let them sleep. It's important they sleep dark room. It's important they sleep in a quiet environment. So there are places now in Ibadan where there is party from night till morning, club DJ, everybody's just making noise, doing whatever. Old people don't survive much in those kind of environments. There are places where you put on generator. I know in old Bodija, you cannot put on your generator beyond 12 midnight, and because quite a lot of people there are old. So, but there are places where you can put on generator till morning. And if you put on generator till morning, and your generator is not soundproofed, what it means is that your generator will make noise throughout the night. You will sleep well because you put on your AC and you are okay. But your neighbor is going to be very uncomfortable. But again, it speaks to the fact that government did not bring light.
All right, doctor. Before we continue, we'll go on a short commercial break. We'll be right back. All right, so welcome back from that short commercial break. Just like we say that health is wealth and there is need for every one of us to live healthy. We've been discussing on geriatrics, and we have in the house Dr. Babasoya today. Doctor, there is a question here from a friend. He's saying, good afternoon, doctor. There is a special
friend.
As we all know currently that we are in special season called Harmattan. Is there a special way we need to care for our elderly people?
Yes. Now, two things come to mind very quickly. One, the skin. The old geriatrics, they have lost what they call subcutaneous fat. So if you look at your body, you see that your body is looking smooth. Sometimes if you don't remember to cream, it doesn't matter. But you see, the old people's skin is wrinkled, and it's just because of the subcutaneous fat. So they need a lot of oil-based cream during this weather. That's one. Two, they need to take a lot of water. One of the functions of fat is to be a source of water for the body. So they don't have that now. So they need to take a lot of that. So in this Harmattan season that is extremely dry, so they need to take a lot of water. Otherwise, they will have cracked lips, cracked tongues, and all that. So they need to take a lot of water, really. One of the things, medical issues that we need to worry about that affects social interaction. Elderly people tend to have hearing loss. As they grow older, the hearing capacity reduces. Now, it is normal in nature or a human, if you are talking, to want to hear yourself talk. So it is the volume at which you can hear yourself talk that you tend to speak normally. If somebody is having the difficulty in hearing, what it means is that the person will raise his voice because he wants to hear himself talk. If an elderly person starts to do that, it comes across to you, the people that are interacting with him, as that he's making noise, he's shouting at us. So when you hear elders, or you think the elder is shouting, it may not be by shouting at you, especially when there is no issue at hand, there is no cause of grievance. It's possible that it's because of the hearing loss that they have. So they need to go to hospital as quickly as possible so that they can be diagnosed. They have a lot of hearing loss. They have a lot of visual issues. Sight is a problem for them too. So they need to go to hospital.
So we should believe they actually have a lot of sensory impairment.
Well, yes.
That's the visual, the
hearing, touch,
the touch,
taste.
The taste.
Yeah. Please don't give the geriatrics different soup. Let them take the same soup. What is good for the geriatric is good for you when you are eating. So don't separate pot for them. They are not supposed to eat salt, too much salt. Not everybody is supposed to eat too much salt. Nobody is supposed to eat too much salt. So when you put salt or maggi somewhere, it should be enough. Just taste it, sweet. Yorubas have a word for it. You know, when it is if it is between king kondun ati kigbongbongbon kansi. So
I think that gbogbo has to do with adding more.
Yes, it's not over sweet, it's very sweet. We don't need very in it. We just need it to be sweet.
Okay.
And that's the measure that we are aiming for. So that gauge, once you get to that gauge, so they can eat any vegetable, any soup that you cook, they can eat.
All right, before I proceed, if you want to ask any question, the number to like 07048001035, 07048001035, or 09151035555, 09151035555. All right, doctor. For elderly people now, we believe the necessary things they are meant to do is just stay at home and go. You've actually enlightened us on how they can move around during the day, get something doing and all that. But someone is asking, is there any specific medication for them to take? Maybe just to feel more energized or something?
There is no medication for anybody to feel more energized. You see all those nonsense that they keep pushing to people that you take this energy, whatever, you take this, just eat well. What essentially they are doing is that you see all the vitamins, the multivitamins, vitamins were B1 to the end, and vitamins, folic acid, B-co, C, A, K, D, all the vitamins that are there, they pack them together.
Okay.
And then they give it to you as a tablet. You know, that probably make it more expensive. So they give it to you as a tablet. You take that as a tablet. Then you assume that it gives you energy. No. What it does is that because we're not eating right in Nigeria, poverty does not make people to eat right in Nigeria. So a lot of people just eat gari. So you put gari in water. Gari has very little other energy apart from energy that it gives you. So, and then if you take only energy that has carbohydrate alone, then there is the protein malnutrition part. So an adult can have protein deficiency. Children will have kwashiorkor directly. Adults will have what looks like it. So it is all those things together that when they give you that tablet, that you take it. If they eat well and they eat in small quantities, they can. We recommend for elderly people that they should take calcium tablets. We recommend that they should take calcium tablet because their bone, we call it resorption. Their bone will undergo resorption a lot more than the general populace, and so if they take calcium, then that should meet that properly. But I mean, apart from that, if they take calcium, they should be sure that they are taking that one calcium. Again, because if they take calcium in many places, it affects the kidney. And it's the kidney that is very important. So it's very important for the elderly not to And it's very important for elderly to not smoke or drink cigarette smoking or any other type of smoking. And then as much as possible to stop alcohol. Because at that point, all the organs are teetering on edges. And if you take something that is insulting to them, they can go to the other side. So really, it's important for them to learn that. And then it's also important for those who are caring for them to understand the mentality of the elderly. They can be stubborn, they can be obstinate, they can be very tough, it's very difficult to change their opinion, and they are in a new environment every time. They're in a new environment. So if you have elderly, reach out to them, let them be happy. Because you see, current people that are old now in Nigeria are very disadvantaged. Anybody that grew in Nigeria where you could buy a car at 4,000 naira and is still alive now, where a car cannot be, where 4,000 naira does not have any value, is worthy of being reached out to.
All right. Thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. As we say, always say that health is wealth. So remember to always take good care of yourself, take good care of people around you, and take good care of your elderly people. Till we come your way next week, my name is Mercy Adedokun. Thank you so much for joining us. Stay tuned to Honor 103.5 FM. Don't change the dial.